Well, this video is all about a little bit of playful, bubbly fun. And whilst this would be a great way to entertain the children, it's also a really good exercise for creatives as well. Even though it sounds really simple, my first attempts were a little bit of a disaster. So I thought I'd put together this video and share what I've learned. So what can we do with washing up liquid other than clean the dishes? Well, if you want to give this a go, you'll need some paper, quite a bit of paper actually. I'm using watercolour paper. You'll want some washing up liquid, some water, a bowl and a straw, and the chosen pigment, whether that's watercolour paint or Inktense pencils or ink. Now I did initially just try this with watercolour paint, but then I thought, how would this work with other art mediums? So I've also tried it out with ink and Inktense pencils as well. So firstly, blow in the bubbles. I put a good squeeze of washing up liquid in a small glass Pyrex bowl, and I half filled the bowl with water. I was armed with a straw and I took a deep breath and I regressed to my childhood and blew bubbles. I did feel a bit ridiculous, but I had the house to myself, so I was a little bit carefree with it and just went with it. It took me back to those days when the children would just blow bubbles in their drinks. Yeah, anyway. The first issue was how to get the bubbles from the bowl to the paper. I'd seen some people put the paper directly into the bubbles and kind of scoop it up that way, but I'd tape my paper down to prevent buckling, so that wasn't going to happen. So I tried initially with a spoon to scoop the bubbles up, but obviously the majority of the bubbles just popped straight away, and I was only able to get a few of the bubbles down on the paper. The best method I found was to blow up as many bubbles as I possibly could so that they go above and beyond the rim of the container. And then I used a scrap piece of paper. I slid it underneath the bubbles like a spatula to pick up the bubbles. And then I slid the bubbles onto the tape page. I used my straw for this and that seemed to work okay. But if anyone's got any better suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Now bubbles don't want to spread, they just want to pop. So you may need to do this a few times to get the coverage that you want. You'll get big bubbles and you'll get small bubbles. They're not predictable at all and they will start popping. So the more the merrier, I found at this point. So I first tried with watercolour paint. I'm using textured watercolour paper here initially, and one side was textured side up and one was textured side down. I just wanted to see how differently it would react with different surfaces. So when you add in the pigment to the bubbles, it really helps to dip your paintbrush into the washing up liquid before you begin. If your brush has got no dish soap or washing up liquid on it, it will just pop the bubbles straight away, like this. But once it's dipped in, it will be fine. And this, surprisingly enough, is just simple chemistry, because the water on the brush then has the same molecular bonds on the paintbrush. It won't disrupt the surface tension of the bubbles. Who knew I knew that? You want to load your brush up with quite a lot of pigment. So you know when the watercolour paint feels more creamy than watery? This will really load your brush up with pigment, which can then travel through the bubbles. But if you do want a lighter effect, then water it down a little bit more. But do remember that the bubbles are mostly water, so as the pigment travels down the water and the bubbles start popping, the colour will become more diluted naturally anyway. You want to dip your paintbrush into the edges or the joins of the bubbles rather than push it into the middle of a bubble. It's going to just pop the bubble if you push it in the middle, but if you push it in at the sides, at the joins, the pigment will travel down through those joins and end up on the paper. So you can either just dip your brush in and hold it until the pigment moves itself with gravity, or you can move the brush really slowly through the bubbles. The pigment then travels down to the paper, and as the bubbles settle and pop, it starts creating the most wonderful little patterns. So the bubbles will eventually all pop and the water will just soak down into your paper. So it is a really good idea to tape the paper down or stretch your paper first. I'll show you the results of these at the end, but next I tried my Inktense pencils. Now I used my plastic palette for the Inktense here, and if you'd like more information about using a plastic palette with the Inktense pencils, I'll try to remember to put the link in the video description. And with the same process as I did with the watercolour paint, I just let it travel down through the bubbles and onto the page. And again, I made sure that the brush had some washing up liquid on it before I began this process. The Inktense reacted exactly the same way as the watercolour paint. No surprise really. But I also did try this on larger sheets of paper, just keeping the bubbles on the lower portion of the page, just to see how that would work out. So I also tried using Winsor & Newton drawing ink. I tried adding the pigment to the bubbles with the pipette. And I also tried with a brush as well. And lastly, I tried with Daler Rowney Acrylic Ink. I applied this with the supplied pipette at first, and I was a little bit heavy with it, and I just got blobs dropping right through the bubbles. But when I had less ink in the dropper and I squeezed it very gently, it worked much better. It travelled through the bubbles just like all the other mediums down to the page. So in conclusion, this method was a lot of fun to do, and even though it's the sort of thing that you do with children, I couldn't stop myself from experimenting with it. The final results were not as spectacular as some that I've seen online, but I am really looking forward to seeing what I can do with these. The watercolour paint was a little grainy. The Inktense was less grainy but softly defined and lighter in colour. The Winsor & Newton drawing ink travelled through the bubbles a lot faster than I expected and a lot quicker than the watercolour paint and the Inktense pencils. It also gave a more vibrant result than all of the other mediums. The Daler Rowney FW ink was really lovely as well, but using less bubbles works best for that. The more bubbles you have, the more the colour spreads out and you get more of an even tone. I did try with the Daler Rowney pearlescent ink as well, but that just gave a very, very flat colour. But this ink is very different from the regular standard FW ink anyway, so yeah, that's fine. It was an experiment. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can draw on these sheets that I've created, and I am going to try it again. I'm going to try it again with some bubble bath, because I think with bubble bath you get smaller bubbles and they last longer, so it'll be interesting to see what different effects I can get with that. It's going to be a few weeks before I get around to doing it, and then a few more weeks after that before I've edited the video, but it is on the list and it is to come. I really hope that there's been something in this video that's inspired you to do your own bubble art. Do give me a thumbs up if you've made it this far. Your support is genuinely very much appreciated, and I hope to catch up with you again soon.